Welcome back. I am Dr.Jerge Jenkins, the legally licensed psychiatrist, and I will be continuing my case study of the Googology Wiki. It is an interesting place. Today we will not talk about Edwin. We will not talk about Edwin. Today we will talk about Jonathan Bowers. He is one of the, how shall we say, he is the Freud of the Googology Wiki. That is not to say that he was um, a master psychiatrist, but he is a master Googologist, which, if the Googology be psychiatry, he is the Freud of the Wiki. You can see him here. He's a man with the hair on his face. Oh, he is from Tyler, Texas, USA. Now, personally, I have never been to Texas, but it is how shall we say, interesting state to be in. And evidently, his brother is a painter by trade. We can view this as a psychological metaphor for the fact that he likes to paint with numbers and paint visions of infinity in the mind of his readers. This is what it means. You see, I go good with the psychoanalysis. Yes, I have a diploma. No, I will not share. Here we can see him grasping for the polytope, which is a metaphor for people trying to grasp the inner ideal or the inner homunculus, which is known in my branch of psychiatry as a totally legit thing. He is trying to grab the inner homunculus here, and you can see the big man, in effect, is grabbing the little man. It's a psychological metaphor. This whole page bespeaks multiple layers of a Freudian psychoanalysis, which are too numerous to go through. But let us take this one step at a time. First, I need to X out of this how shall we say, this intrusive and highly annoying ad. Unfortunately, it does not seem I can do that. Jonathan Bowers, also known as Hadron Dude or Jabe, is an American amateur mathematician considered the father of modern Googology. He introduced array notation to the public in 2002. Array notation. Now, what do you do when you get things in order? You have them arrayed correctly. Clearly, this is a search for inner order in truth, as metaphorically figurated or figuratively represented by his array notation. I think any beginner psychologist should learn how to use beef arrays, and if you can't use beef arrays, then you deserve to have your diploma stripped from you. But I do not, of course, because I have a diploma, and yes, it is an official diploma. He introduced array notation to the public in 2002, a simple function that defines provably larger numbers than Knuth arrows, Steinhaus polygons, or chained arrows. Chained arrows, of course, represent the oppression of freedom due to the fact that they are arrows which represent movement or moving forward, freedom, the freed man, and chained, which means brought together. Chained arrow notation is a metaphor for the history of slavery in every branch of history. Really, the historical implications here are very manifold if you look into them. His largest number is utter oblivion, which is a metaphor for how deep within we are all empty husks and extremely nihilistic beings. Everyone is evil. That is the result of my degree, and we shall move on to section elsewhere. Outside of large number studies, he is best known for his work in polytopes, shapes like polyhedra and polygons, as well as their higher dimensional analogs. Higher dimensional, of course, referring to man over beast, or the fourth dimensional human, or homunculus, as the homunculus he is grabbing over here, or big man versus little polytope, which represents internal idealization. It's clear that this represents the evolution of man and is a manifestation of the anthropomorphological pride principle, I call it. He is That is what this is. Bowers has coined a total of 352 Googleisms. I do not know what to say to this. There is no psychoanalytic interpretation of this, but it remains to be found. Like Chris Bird, he has a master's degree in mathematics, just like my master's degree in psychology, which I also totally have. And in conclusion, what can we learn about Jonathan Bowers? We learn that he made a notation greater than chained arrow notation, which means that he is an abolitionist of sorts because he does not like slavery, which we already established is the we already established that chained arrow notation is a Jungian metaphor for the oppressed or anti-liberated man. And what we can glean from this is that he is a harbinger of freedom in the community, and that people like him because he's free man. You can see even in his hair, it's almost like a little afro. That is free man right over here. Here he is free, grasping out of the prison of his polytopes to grab yet another one that is outside the bars of common perception. It is clear that Jonathan Bowers is a very extroverted and free individual who ranks high in sociability and presumably agreeability. I do not think he is a neurotic individual. That remains to be seen, but I think my psychological analysis of him is that he is a well rounded, extremely extroverted, and agreeable individual. You can even tell that by his last name, Bowers, which rhymes with powers, and some say that being extroverted is a superpowers. Now, that is not a coincidence. Trust me, I have a degree. I know what is coincidence and what is not. And I think that concludes this video. This is Dr.Jerge Jenkins, and you have been listening to the psychoanalysis of Jonathan Bowers. Peace out.